God bless you all for joining me once again for this short Bible study. So may Jesus Christ be praised now and forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And this is the conclusion to the Our Father that you find basically only in King James Version and some other Protestant Bibles in perhaps Germany and Switzerland. So how come that our Catholic, and not just Catholic Bibles, our Catholic Bible, but not just Catholic Bibles, have the verse and others' Bibles do not? The reason is that during Reformation, when the churches like Lutheran, Zwingli, Church in Switzerland and Lutheran Church in Germany separated themselves from the Catholic Church, they lost the access to the oldest Greek manuscripts of the Bible. There are three basically coming from the 4th century, about 350, 360 AD. And there are three of such oldest manuscripts of the Bible that are called codexes. They are called codex. So you have Codex Sinaiticus, found in Sinai, St. Catherine Monastery in Sinai, in Catholic monastery. Codex Alexandrinus, found in Alexandria, and Codex Vaticanus, of course, kept in Vatican, according to the places where they were found and kept. These oldest Greek versions of the Bible do not contain, which not contained by the later copies, that have additions and sometimes changes to the text. So Martin Luther, John Huss in Moravia, Zwingli in Switzerland, and King James in England did not have access to these early copies of the Bible. Only to the Greek copies they got from Byzantium, written 300 years later in the 6th century or 7th century. Although in Didache, and I have Didache, the teaching of the apostles coming from the 4th century, this verse existed. But Didache is not the Bible. It could be a liturgical addition that was added to the Bible and then put in Didache. So as people in Byzantium were accustomed since the 5th century that the priest or bishop after the Our Father during Eucharist intoned the doxology, for thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Usually it was sung. So some scribe in a century later copying the Bible from another copy left by the previous copy writer by hand, which did not contain it, and simply added the verse, remembering it from the liturgy celebration of last Sunday. Remember, the print was invented by Gutenberg 1,000 years later, just at the time of Reformation, when the Bible were printed in mass. Before, everything was copied by hand, from copy to another copy. And the scribes, from the scribe who copied it before. And that one also got it before. So this is how the Bible reached us today. Now we have the printed copies of the Bible only since the time of Reformation, and since Protestant Church was so keen on promoting the Bibles, which was, we could say, contaminated copy if the Bible of the Bible, because the manuscripts, which means written by hand, were contaminated because they were written by hand, and they felt maybe the previous writer forgot that verse, I put it in. For this reason, in Protestant churches, they always say the doxology after Our Father, while when we Catholic churches pray, they do not use it. However, during the Our Father in the Mass, after the Our Father prayer, sung or said during the Mass, the priests add a little prayer, and at the end of that prayer, the doxology is sung. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory. It could be said as well. And that is done in the Catholic churches. But that happens only during the Mass. When we Catholics pray the Our Father outside of the liturgical context, we always end with, but deliver us from evil. Amen. So this is all what I prepared for our Father prayer. See you next week when we will discuss the biblical foundation for another very important Catholic popular prayer, Hail Mary. So see you then, and God bless you.